The things that you've lied about, even pertaining to your mom, you don't want them out.
Yo, when I say the latest season of Love is Blind should really be coming with a trigger warning, because I'm pretty sure anyone who's ever been in a mentally exhausting, toxic relationship would be throwing pillows at the TV screen right this moment. Episodes 10 and 11 have dropped, and along with them, a masterclass in lies, gaslighting, narcissism, love bombing, and cheating. But before we take a deep dive into that, I think it's important to check in on all the drama that's unfolding on social media surrounding the cast and their troubled relationships on and off the show. Starting with Sarah Ann, who was called out in the most dramatic confrontation by AD on episode 10. She now feels iced out by the girls, and she's complaining that they're looking at me like I'm some kind of a floozy. No, girl. In her head, she is in fact not to blame for the collapse of Jeramy and Lauren's engagement because, as she puts it, she's a realist and this is an experiment. What are they expecting her to do besides to wreck a relationship by sliding in the DMs of someone's fiancé?
Nothing.
She has a point though, but I'll get into that. But for now, can we just talk about how she has been sharing TikToks and what seems to be Jeramy's house? I guess in the end, the realist is the one who found a relationship, and that's exactly what she went on the show to do. Alright, let's take it back to episode 5 when Lauren comforts Sarah Ann after Jeramy doesn't pick her. They gave us a solid sisterhood moment and hugged it out. Lauren even called Sarah Ann a bad who deserves the world, and Sarah Ann says, I'll have my moment, and that she did.
Check that. Please be quiet. Come on, y'all.
And then there's a whole thing about Trevor chasing clout on the show, because the truth is he had a serious girlfriend when he came to the pods, and both of them were in on it at the time until he reportedly ghosted her. And allegedly he threatened her that if she came forward with the tea, he would expose her sex tape to her son. Now we see him in the pods being the most authentic, warm and charming guy, when in reality the whole thing was a front. And now that we know what the streets allege, it was funny watching him catch up with Chelsea and trying to get her to be honest about the fact that her relationship with Jimmy is not what she hoped. Meanwhile, outside of the house, Jimmy is claiming that Jessica got a good at it and is asking the internet to be easy on Chelsea. Now, Chelsea has had the likes of Julia Fox and Trisha Paytas in her comments assuring her that she does in fact look like Megan Fox.
This would be a great time for the people who have ever told me that I resembled her to come forward. Please, I'm begging you.
And of course, there's all the tea about Kenneth's sexuality, but as I've said before, speculating and outing people does not pass the vibe check. And back on the show for the last 2 episodes, we are now just 7 days until the weddings. The couples continued meeting the families, and I think so far, so good on that front. But that didn't stop Chelsea's insecurities from overwhelming her again, leading us to that tense argument with Jimmy. Before then, Chelsea's warm personality won over Jimmy's family, especially because the couple's PR machine was in full session. They were trying to convince Jimmy's adorable family they actually have good communication among them. She even describes their fights as just conversations, which is a truly delusional take. Jeramy and Lauren had a conversation after their cold breakup last week. That man's gaslighting game is something worthy to be studied, I promise you. And Lauren, as much as I totally empathize with her because this man took her for a fool, and she had to sit there looking cute and watch Sarah Ann prancing around like it's nothing. But it's crazy that on the other hand, she's mad at Sarah Ann for being slimy, while at the same time encouraging Jessica to do the very same thing with Jimmy. Girl,
What's going on?
Meanwhile, Jimmy finally sat down with Jessica. It was a moment many of us had been looking forward to because prior to that encounter, Jimmy and Chelsea had been fighting about the fact that Jessica is hot. That's what that argument was about, I'm sorry. Because to be fair, Jimmy has not actively given Chelsea a reason to really believe that he's trying to hook up with Jessica. But overwhelmed by insecurity again, Chelsea has been having sleepless nights with suspicions that Jimmy is secretly really into Jessica. I mean, remember back at the pods, Jessica had promised Jimmy that he's gonna be sick when he sees her in person. And he was really gagged, child, because it didn't take long for him to say, "You are still my number one." Or did he say, "You are still my number one"?
I can't help you with the kind of crazy stories that you tell. This makes no sense to me.
So, has Chelsea been right all along? And will the couple who can't seem to go a day without fighting because the other feels the other does not love them because the other doesn't say it every 5 minutes survive? The way Chelsea immediately got on edge when Jessica walked in at the lakecation is the same way that she lost it when Jimmy got all heated about AD's body. So what are we doing here, girl? And what will happen with AD and Clay, since Clay can't stop talking about his fear of cheating and possible divorce? Amy and Johnny are solid though. Jeramy and Lauren are toast. Who will be walking down the aisle on March 6th when the finale is? Stick around as we get into it. Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to this channel. Welcome back to the Quench channel and welcome back to the paradise of gaslighting on Love Island Season 6. We are now just days away from the weddings and it's not looking pretty for most of the couples on the show. First of all, I have a theory that Chelsea is tormenting Jimmy for the plot at this point. I think she already knows that their relationship is not working out at all because for some reason she feels second best to Jessica. I wonder what that reason is. To make both of them miserable the whole time, she tortures that guy every couple of days, starting a dramatic fight about how she doesn't believe he loves her enough and then getting all lovey-dovey the following day. Okay, it's either that or she needs to work on her obviously deep-seated insecurities before considering being with someone else, let alone marrying a guy she just met 2 months ago on a TV show. Sarah Ann, on the other hand, is at least not delusional about the fact that she's a realist and she sees the show as a dog-eat-dog world. When AD confronted her about sliding into Jeramy's DMs, however, she didn't accept the fact that her moves were questionable. And I'm like, girl, just own it. Okay, you shot your shot in broken engagement. Now she's crying about the fact that the girls are icing her out to Jeramy, who looked really sad, by the way. And when he caught up with Lauren, he showed no remorse and no appreciation of how much he has hurt her. To me, okay, Jeramy comes across as a narcissist, but I'm not a psychologist. I don't know that to be true, I guess. This guy simply doesn't give a hoot, okay? Well, he tried to have us and Lauren believe that he's oh so unbothered. But you could tell that, my guy, you look really sad. My hopes are all up for AD and Clay because they seem to be making some kind of progress. Did you guys see the way AD's mother jumped for joy when she saw him? And I mean, who wouldn't? This couple have their scheduling conflicts though and have tried to work through that. But for me, the biggest red flag is that Clay is too afraid of the possibility of cheating, man. He's talked a lot about his fear of divorce and the absence of good examples for faithful men in his life. And I don't know. I want them to be our new Lauren and Cameron so bad, but yeah, I don't know. It's almost like she's had to fold so many times to make this work. But then again, what I'm learning from this show is that marriage is about sacrifice. That much though, girl? Which of the couples do you guys think will actually get married? The Love is Blind Season 6 finale is on Netflix on March 6th. And we will be here for all that tea and all that shade. Remember to subscribe to the channel to catch that. And until then, bye.